Hello everyone, welcome to the first video on my fragrance channel. I am so excited to do this video. My name's Lauren, if you guys don't know, and today I thought for the first video to kind of get to know me and my scent preferences and what I like, I thought I would do a 10 perfumes for life type video. I went through my huge collection and I picked out the 10 perfumes that I feel like are in my top currently. I thought it would be fun to kind of look back at this video and see how it changes over time, but also I wanted to give you guys an idea of what I like in terms of perfume and scent, the profiles I like, so you can kind of get an idea on where you stand with what I like, because scent is so personal for everyone. If you watch my other channel and have watched my fragrance videos, these probably are not going to come as a surprise to you, but I will say that as I was picking them, I was not trying to have one for each and every occasion necessarily. I wasn't trying to have a summer perfume and a freshie and all of that. These are the ones that like represent my soul. Like that's what I was going for. So I have a little bit of repeat or a few that I feel like kind of go for the same situation, and it might not be the biggest variety of scents, but I do feel like these are all ones that are just like tried and true 10 out of 10s for me. So let's get started. I'm so excited. I'm just gonna get Baccarat out of the way so you guys know like I'm a Baccarat girly, okay? I like Baccarat oh so much. One of my favorite scents. Like this is gone actually. Like I'm just showing you, this is, there's nothing in this bottle. I bought this in September of last year and it took me like a year to use up. And I have, again, like tons of other perfumes that I was using in between that time. This is just like the best to me. Like I know that it's overhyped. I know that everyone loves it, but there's a reason. What I get from this scent is a really airy, sweet, almost kind of pine scent, but the pine is like so far down that I'm really more getting like almost that sponge sugar, burnt sugar kind of smell. Like I get that. I do get something a little bit like medical latexy from this as well, but I also just love that. And I find this to be just so sophisticated and sexy. Daytime, nighttime, anytime, signature scent. This could be the only perfumes. Like if I had to have just one perfume, I only wear it, it would probably be this one. I do feel like, unfortunately for me though, this does not stay on my skin very well. Like I don't get the longevity that everyone talks about with this, and I don't know if it's that I go anosmic to it and I just can't smell it, but yeah, I don't feel like I get that from it, and I wish so badly that I did, but nonetheless I don't care. I'll respray it. I will deal. I love the scent that much. This has like saffron in it. It has some ambers in it. It's very ambery, and I do like how amber is expressed in this, and I tend to like amber heavy perfumes. I also like the jasmine that's in here, so I just love Baccarat, and I wanted to start with that. I am intending to repurchase that bottle, but I'm gonna get the big one. Like I hate to do it because it's so expensive, but I just know how much I use it, and like it actually at this point is like better for like cost per use. Cost per use, like that's where I'm going with it. And on Selfridges, it is like way cheaper for the big bottle, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna purchase that over there. Moving on from that, next I want to talk about Mason Margiela's Replicas line, and I love By the Fireplace. First off, I love these little bottles, although I wish I could smell from the cap more. This is just so cozy, but still sexy to me. This is a smoky, marshmallowy, woody scent. I definitely pick up on a lot of the smoke, but for me, what kind of seeps through is the sweet, marshmallowy goodness, and the mix of them is divine, I do tend to like something that's smoky or really woody, and I also like things that are really sweet, so this just combines it all in one. I like that there's this like realistic element to the way the kind of smoke note is in here. I think this smells great on me or Sam. Sam wears this a lot as well, so it's a favorite for both of us, and it's just perfect when the weather gets a little bit cooler, but I also will wear this in summer. Honestly, I will wear this in summer, and I don't feel like it's overpowering, but again, I do, like as much as I like Baccarat and something airy, I do also like a little bit of a heavier perfume. I don't mind that necessarily. So I love By the Fireplace. I'm not going to go on and on because I feel like it's one that people have smelled and is a little bit more accessible on here at tons of different places, and it is so good. One of my favorites. I think next I want to talk about Thé Matcha from Le Labo. This was a love at first sniff for me. When I went to the Le Labo counter and smelled this, I was like, I want that. Like immediately, I want that. This is a fig scent. It also has a matcha tea, and I find the vetiver is also pretty strong in here, and I love the way the vetiver is in here. Something about this scent is so comforting, and it feels almost like a hug. It really creates this scent bubble around you. It's one of those ones where like if you flip your hair, like it like lets the scent scent out, you know? I love it. There's something really warming to it, and I find that this stays on me quite well. This is one of those fragrances that I could see some people being like, oh, it's so creamy, but I also find it a bit powdery and a little bit buzzing, like kind of like matcha tea powder. Like I definitely can see that in here. There's also some bitter orange in there, and you can smell that citrus just a little bit, but I feel like it doesn't make it too light. Like it still has a good amount of weight that I feel like feels proper to be in the fragrance. I don't think I would like it if it was too citrusy. It's just beautiful, and it's one of my favorite way that fig is done now. Like I used to be really into a green fig scent, and I still like that, but when I think of what I'm wearing on me, this is more how I want fig to be like expressed. I really, really love this. And I don't feel like it gets like talked about a ton. I think this might be Le Labo's newest fragrance. It came out last year around fall time, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So, so good. And I think my favorite from Le Labo's line in general. If you like Thé Noir, I think you should check that one out if you're open to a fig note, because they kind of have a similar sensibility about them, and I feel like kind of warm. It's not like heavy per se, but I feel like it's more in line with that than some of the other Le Labo fragrances to me. All right, next let's talk about Ariana Grande Cloud. I love Cloud. Oh, I love Cloud. Of course, if I love Baccarat, I feel like most people, if you like Baccarat, you're probably gonna like Cloud. You're probably gonna like it. It is so good. This to me though is not like a dupe. It's not a dupe, it's its own thing. I see how they're similar, and I see how if you like one, you could like the other. And sometimes in the sillage, or even in like how it is in the air after I spray it, I can get it a little bit more, but I just don't feel like it wears the same. I really do smell the coconut that's in here, and I smell that whipped cream. I think there might be vanilla orchid, and I think I also smell that quite a bit in here. That gives it just something a little bit more like actually fruity instead of only just sweet and kind of woody. There are woods, but I don't pick up on those as much as some other people do. I know that everyone kind of smells this a little bit differently. I definitely pick up though on that medical note. I feel like this smells similar. If you guys have ever used the Too Faced like coconut hangover spray, this to me is like the perfume version of that, and I like that. It has a medical-ish note. It smells like you're in the coconut hospital or something, and that's kind of what's happening in here. And I like that note a lot, actually. Like it works. Like I could see it not working, but I think it works really nicely in here. This is like an easy reach scent for me, and I can wear it in the daytime and the nighttime. I really love it most for like cozying up or just being at home and just wanting to smell good. I also really love Cloud 2.0. I feel like this is more like the summer Cloud, and that's like the colder weather Cloud, but I just love in general this, and it's my favorite from the Ariana Grande line. It's so good. I think the closest thing to a freshie that I have in here is Molecule 01 from Eccentric Molecule. This is also, out of all the perfumes I'm showing you, the one that I've had the longest. I've had a love affair with this for many, many, many years before I got really into perfume collecting and, you know, exploring and all of that. This was mine and Sam's scent. Like that's what we wore. We've gone through bottles and bottles of this. The main superstar in this scent is ISO-E Super, which is this like really woody molecular note. It's hard because when I smell this after I've been smelling a lot of other stuff, it's really hard to like pinpoint it, but you know it when you smell it. You know it when you smell it, if you can smell it, because some people also can't really smell this one. This is one of those phantom scents that like when you get in an elevator after someone else, you're like, what is that? You're like looking around for someone and you don't see anyone. It could be this. It is so good. Sam wears this a lot more than I do now, but I think that overall this scent does really represent me, and I would want it in my collection. I almost get also something from this, and I don't know why, but it reminds me of something like alcohol, like a spirit, like a clear spirit. There's something reminiscent to that with this smell as well, but this is one that like kind of melts with your body chemistry and just stays on things forever. This touches your clothes. If you put it in a makeup bag, I have a makeup bag that this was in at one point, and I still will just get random whiffs of it. I do go anosmic to this though, and so it's kind of like a grab bag if I'm gonna smell it or not, depending, but when I get that whiff, it is beautiful. I love it, and I definitely look out for ISO-E Super in a lot of different perfumes. If it has that note, I definitely want to get my nose on it because I like it that much. Okay, we've done 5. We have 5 more to go. I think next I want to talk about Fragrance de Bois Minuit et Demi. I love this. Look at the dent I got going on. I'm almost halfway done. I bought this for my birthday this year in January, so it's been almost a year, and I can say with confidence it's one of my favorites in my collection. It is so good. It's like this perfect mix of this like spicy top with this really beautiful sweet, really sweet, almost ooey gooey sweetness, but it still has has an airy quality about it, so it doesn't get too dense, too syrupy, too heavy. I find I can wear this all year round, and I am someone who loves like true gourmands, really foodie gourmands, but I also can see how those can come off a little, maybe, let's just say unrefined or a little less fancy maybe. I mean, I don't know. I still love to wear them. I'm gonna wear whatever the fuck I want, you know, but I do understand that, and I feel like this is like they've made it fancy. They've made somehow a really sweet, really gourmand scent have like class. Have a class about it. I love it so much. To me, this is very like feminine and rich smelling. I just love how sweet it is. It has caramel, it has coffee. There's like tons of notes in this. I think there's tobacco in here as well, but there's this pimento in the top, so that spicy sweet combo is just beautiful. So well done, really well balanced to me. I do find this to be very similar to Changing Constants from Penhaligon's, like very similar. The notes would also suggest they are very similar. But seriously, to my nose, they're like almost identical. I find that Changing Constants has like a bready quality that this doesn't, and so I actually prefer Minuit Demi, but that's one to check out if you haven't. I just hate how expensive this is. Like, Fragrance de Bois is so expensive. It really is, but this is one that I would purchase. Like, I think it's that good. It's so good. Another more like signature scent to me. Let's talk about a woodier coconut, like kind of summery, but also like everyday scent to me, and this is from Juliet Has a Gun. This is Sunny Side Up. I believe this has ISO E Super in it as well. This one is like the best from the line. I'm sorry, it is. I tend to really like their DNA in general with their house. Like, I like so many of their fragrances, but this one to me is like a creamy coconut sandalwood. There's jasmine in here, ISO E Super. It's just woody and light still, and creamy. There's like a lactonic quality coming off of this. I love pairing this with Baccarat. That is like one of the best combinations ever. I get compliments when I do that, and I'm like, oh, let me tell you about my $500 perfume combo. Oh gosh. But seriously, it is so good. I actually purchased this bottle off of Mercari. I got it for like a steal of a deal, like $40. Like, oh my gosh, so good. I've heard from different people though that this doesn't necessarily smell good on everyone, so definitely test this one out and see if it works with your skin chemistry. But this is like one of my favorite ways that sandalwood can be done, where it's that soft, really creamy, almost milky sandalwood with the other notes. I also do love coconut, but this isn't like sweet. It doesn't really have like a sweetness necessarily to it. It does have vanilla, but I feel like even if you don't like something super sweet, but you like something woody, you could like this. So love this one, Sunny Side Up. So good. You know, I wanted to put a vanilla in here, like a true vanilla, because I love vanillas. And it was tough because I have so many that I genuinely like adore, maybe even in some cases more than the one I'm about to talk about. But when I thought about one that I feel like is just such a good like anytime vanilla, I had to go with Chaoli Vanilla 28. It's just like the perfect middle ground vanilla. It's not too powdery. It's not too like cool smelling, but it's not too warm and foody either. It's that perfect mix. It's not too floral. I don't like when vanillas go too floral and like powdery. I also find this has a lot of longevity to me. There's patchouli in here, which I find surprising I like so much, but I'm learning like I kind of do like patchouli. Not all the time, not when it's too screechy, but it does add a lot of like longevity to perfumes, and also this like really nice kind of spiciness that I enjoy, like an earthiness. This is just like the best vanilla, just middle of the road. It's very linear, so it just kind of wears how it is, but it's perfect in that way. Like, it's just the perfect vanilla. I am so excited. I'm still waiting on the new Vanilla Royale to get to me. I ordered off of Huda's website, so I can't wait. I will be putting that review on this channel for sure, so be on the lookout for that coming. But man, what else is there to say? Just like literally top tier vanilla. Without being too heavy too, because I have some vanillas that just like really like engulf you, and that one I feel like does just enough, but you don't feel like you're literally being smothered by vanilla cream or something. All right, next on my list is an oldie but a goodie. I have Mancera's Instant Crush. This is one I found right at the beginning of my fragrance journey, and I had heard a lot of people talking about it, and so I went to smell it and I was like, damn, this is so good. Even the sales associate was like, that smells really good. I was like, I know. So good. This is also like saffron, jasmine, amberwood, vanilla. There's also some ginger in here, and it adds to this spiciness. So when I experience this fragrance, in the top there's this definite spiciness, and it almost comes across a little gaseous. And I know that sounds like negative or bad, but I don't know how else to explain it. There's just something about it that's very much cloudy up here in the spiciness. But as I wear it and as I continue my smell, that's when like I feel like that ambery, jasmine-y kind of syrupy sweetness comes through, and I love it. It is so, so good. If you're looking for, I feel like a heavier scent that's similar, I think, to Baccarat, this I just feel like has like a denseness to it that Baccarat doesn't have, and also a spiciness that Baccarat doesn't have. So it's definitely one, if you like that scent, try this one out. I feel like this just lasts so long too, so for the price that you're paying. And I feel like you can usually find Mancera on the gray market or the secondhand market a little bit more affordable, but even for the full retail price, I do think it's worth it for how long it really does last. And this is a pretty big bottle at 4 ounces. It feels sweet and sexy. I do think that this one's a little bit more for colder weather or just not super hot weather. Like, I think it could get a little bit overpowering, but absolutely beautiful. And I like the Mancera DNA. I know not everyone likes it because it might be a little synthetic, but I really enjoy it when I find those scents within the line that I really like. All right, we're on to the last perfume, and I decided to put in Initio's Side Effect. This is one I've been pining after a while, and I finally bought it for myself this year. Ooh, it is so good. Now, this one is a boozy vanilla, like rum scent, and it is thick. It's thick, it's heavy. In some instances, it can come off almost a little like medicinal, like a little like syrupy medicine almost. I find it just so sexy though. There's like a little bit of spice going on. It's rich and just has such perspective, I feel like, and is very unique. I love so many of the Initio perfumes. They're one of my favorite houses, and this one's just perfect for cold weather to me. Like, it just warms you up. This is another one that's like similar to Demi, where it is very sweet, and this is a lot denser, thicker, heavy. This is like airy. They're not the same, even though they have some similar notes. This is denser to me, but I feel like it's still like an elevated version of a more sweet and like thick scent. It still smells refined to me while still being like heavy on that vanilla and sweetness. So that's my top 10 for life for right now. This was like impossibly hard to decide on. There are so many other perfumes that I wear often, a ton. Like, it was not fun necessarily to pick these 10 because there are so many that I feel like are just being left out and I want to mention, and I feel like kind of round out different times in my collection. But as we do more videos, we will get into all of that. I can't wait to just dive into fragrance over here on the channel. Thank you to everyone who subscribed, and of course, if you want to be here for more fragrance videos, please make sure to subscribe down below. I'm also going to be talking about candles and just like all things scent. I really like a range of tons of stuff. I like niche, I like Bath and Body Works, I like everything in between. So I hope that you will join me on the channel here. I would love to know what your top 10 in your collection are, or like what your favorites are in your collection down below. But other than that, thank you guys so much for being here and for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.